Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Upper School Convocation. We're collected here today to formally begin the start of our school year. We gathered together to charge each with goals and with reflections that will last throughout the year. We challenge each class with words of wisdom gathered from the students of last year. Listen and remember carefully. Previous classes have reflected on their experiences and have thoughtfully crafted their challenges for you. But first, I'd like to share my thoughts. The other day, I went for a phone-free walk. It occurred to me what happens when one can walk unencumbered. We're free to generate ideas. We're free to synthesize and to connect disparate thoughts. In a recent episode of On Being, Rex Young, a neuropsychologist, stated that we need a recess from knowledge acquisition so that we can put things together, especially to be creative. The brain actually needs that sort of work. When you walk, you can exercise your brain along with your body. The following poem most certainly is a product of an unfettered walk. With nature all around us and with this wonderful community standing here this morning, it seemed a fitting poem to share. Aimless Love by Billy Collins. This morning, as I walked along the lakeshore, I fell in love with a wren, and later in the day with a mouse the cat had dropped under the dining room table. In the shadows of an autumn evening, I fell for a seamstress still at her machine in the tailor's window, and later for a bowl of broth, steam rising like smoke from a naval battle. This is the best kind of love, I thought, without recompense, without gifts or unkind words, without suspicion or silence on the telephone. The love of the chestnut, the jazz cap, and one hand on the wheel. No lust, no slam of the door. The love of a miniature orange tree, the clean white shirt, the hot evening shower, the highway that cuts across Florida. No waiting, no huffiness or rancor, just a twinge now and then for the wren who had built her nest on a low branch overhanging the water, and for the dead mouse still dressed in its light brown suit. My heart is always propped up in a field on its tripod, ready for the next arrow. After I carried the mouse by the tail to a pile of leaves in the woods, I found myself standing at the bathroom sink, gazing down affectionately at the soap. So patient and soluble, so at home in its pale green soap dish, I could feel myself falling again as I felt its turning in my wet hands and caught the scent of lavender and stone. Please join Mr. Dickerson in the singing of Standards High. We now introduce Richard Bray and Jonah Horn to read the charge to the freshmen.
Finally, it's time for high school. Time to see if what they portray on television is fact or fiction. Listen to us, and we shall be your guides.
Grades aren't everything. You're here to learn, so learn.
Be ready to push yourself. High school is supposed to be difficult. By actually doing the work, you will become smarter and learn how to manage your time. Procrastinating is the single worst thing you can do to yourself. If you have an opportunity to get something done, do it. Slacking on assignments dramatically impacts your grades. It's likely you're going to struggle a bit at the beginning of the year. That's fine. It's a new place, a new experience. If you get a bad grade on a test, don't stress out. We've all been there. In the end, your success will match the amount of work you put in. So be dedicated to working hard all 4 semesters.
Use your words. Take the initiative to build relationships with faculty. Every teacher is in their position to help you succeed. Come to them with questions. They actually want to help you. Although, if you actually pay attention in class, you won't have to spend your free period asking a teacher about everything they just taught.
Be social. In upper school, you have plenty of chances to make friends, including sports, clubs, and community service. Take advantage of them. Every activity you're involved in is an opportunity to connect with someone new. And trust us, don't be afraid to talk to upperclassmen. They're nicer than you think and can make for some pretty good friends.
So finals. I'm sure you heard plenty of how hard upper school finals are from Miss Harper. To be truthful, they are pretty difficult. The best thing you can do for yourself is study. The teacher isn't going to change your final just because you think the content is too hard. Stressing out a little bit can help you, as long as you don't explode or anything. Just get some sleep, eat right, and ask questions if you need to.
About bullying and gossip. Don't tolerate it, don't spread rumors, be nice to everyone, and you'll find your time in high school more enjoyable.
It's your time to shine. We wish you the best of luck, and welcome to the family.
We now introduce Sai Gandhi, Grace Harkins, and Spencer Walls, who will read the charge to the sophomores.
Sophomores, congrats on making it to your second year of upper school. The hard part is over. Now it's time to discover your role and find out who you are. Ask yourself, am I the student right now that I want to be? Barstow hopes to see you achieve symmetrical development of mind, body, and character. All 3 need your attention. This year, you will take a big step forward academically. Make wise use of your free periods and don't procrastinate. Seek balance in the rigor of your courses that you select. Take a deep breath and relax. You can do this. Along the way, stay true to yourself. Find the people that make you happy. New friends are good, so be nice.
The infamous sophomore research project is not that hard, we promise. Don't forget to proofread your papers and check your email. If you use your resources, you'll be just fine. Teachers aren't as scary as you might hear. Let them help you. If you play a sport, you are committing to a long season. Be prepared. Don't be afraid to try a new sport. Find out what you are capable of and push yourself. Balancing athletic and academic commitments demands savvy time management. Communicate with your teachers when you know you will be gone so you don't get behind on your work.
Your body is your temple. Take care of yourself and think about the long run. That might mean staying up late to study, but it might also mean closing a book and getting some sleep. Don't overcommit to activities and don't feel pressure to keep doing an activity that you don't love. Sophomore year presents an opportunity to change and try new things. Look for a place where you can serve your community passionately. Plan to volunteer as often as you can and as early as you can early in the year to cultivate relationships with community members and to avoid making service learning an end of the year task. Challenge your mind, strengthen your body, and take pride in your character to make the most of your sophomore year. We wish you good luck.
We now introduce Adam Yale and Carl Sheeran to read the charge to the juniors.
Juniors, some things you must do and other things you choose to do. Complaining about the must-dos and not appreciating the choose-to-dos are reasons for discontentment. Life is too short to be discontented all the time, and high school is part of life, your life, in which you participate, activate, and sometimes comply. There is reason to know pride for this life. Know pride now, for one day, when you develop pride in your accomplishments, your school, your city, you might realize that such pride was already there. You just never realized it or considered it. And that, my friends, would be a shame. For example, you must take the ACT. Perhaps multiple times, but choose to take it sooner and prepare. Procrastination produces anxiety. Preparation yields success.
A choice you can make. Friendships. Be a friend to have a friend and appreciate the time you have together. Soon you'll be a senior and then a graduate, and this lovely time in your life will have ended, but the friendships need not end.
Take some time for yourself, though. Meditate or pray or stare and think. You'll remember what you have done well that day and what you could have done better. Both are worthy realizations.
Everyone needs companionship, and everyone needs solitude, so find ways to establish healthy boundaries. Saying no, with respect and kindness, to protect your time or emotional stability is a good way to remain content and peaceful, and a good way to succeed academically, artistically, athletically, spiritually, and emotionally. Boundaries allow you to finish your work, perhaps even enjoy it, and still have time to play with your dog or to watch Netflix.
You will also find the time to give some away. Other people and organizations need you, your school, your community, your city, and beyond. But volunteer for love. The hours will come, because volunteering is both a must-do and a choice. You should pick an activity that enriches your life so that you can enrich the lives of others.
Consider colleges this year, especially where you might want to live for the next several years. You have a choice in this process, so work hard now so that you will have more and better choices later on.
Finally, try and be positive, not negative, in your thinking and with the words you use. A list of don'ts gives you no power to do. Doing is more fulfilling than not doing. So juniors, go and do. Must do and choose to do are both positive if you make them so. Thank you.
We now introduce Carolyn Kill, class of 1989, to read the charge to the seniors.
It was July 2014. I found myself outside of Salida, Colorado, leading a group of Boy Scouts to the Rocky Mountain High Adventure Camp. This particular morning, the scouts, the other scoutmasters, and I were waking up at our base camp at about 10,000 feet altitude. It was 3 a.m., and we were preparing to climb Mount Antero. Our goal was to climb the peak of the mountain and return to the base camp by nightfall. It had been a busy summer so far. My son Jack had spent almost 2 weeks at Boy Scout camp, and he had gone to space camp. My daughter Gabby had participated in summer at Barstow. I worked on my dissertation, dealing with the endless revisions and improvements that my committee threw my way. Throughout it all, the Boy Scout trip to Colorado and the mountain climb seemed to be in the distant future, an escape. I wasn't too worried about it. Fast forward to late July. Here we were, in the middle of the night, with a high altitude headache kicking in. Here we were. I knew that as an assistant scoutmaster, I had to keep the boys focused and moving on. It was quiet that morning. We all knew what we were there to do. As dawn approached, more of the boys started to complain. "How long is this going to take?" they asked. "My back hurts," they moaned. I replied and I said, "You can do this." Remembering my marathon days, I cheered them on. They quietly forged ahead, and the complaining dwindled down. A few hours later, the reality of the task ahead kicked in. Fear, nervousness, and discomfort pervaded the group, particularly among the younger scouts. One boy started to break down. "I can't do this," he cried. To be honest, on the inside, I felt the same way. But I thought, what if this boy was my own son? So I encouraged him. I also joked with the group, and I'm pretty sure I saw a few smiles. I think this distracted everyone from the incredible discomfort they felt. The boy snapped out of his funk. The boy and everyone else forged on. As the tree line disappeared far below us and the terrain became rocky, bold, and barren, we could see the top of the mountain above. I thought of a race back in 2008 when the finish line of the New York Marathon was just around the bend in Central Park. "I can do this," I told myself at the time. The problem was, this time, I could not. Back when I trained for marathons, I diligently prepared for each race. I spent months beforehand getting ready. To be honest, I feared it. All 6 times that I ran the 26.2-mile distance. That was years ago. That early morning in Colorado, I thought of myself as the marathon runner that I once was. The reality, however, was that I was not. The truth is that the mountain hit me brutally and hard. At just over 14,000 feet, I couldn't move anymore, and I collapsed on the rocks. I felt incredible nausea, and I became delusional from the lack of oxygen. Thankfully, each of the boys I helped made it to the top. However, I petered out just 200 feet short of the peak of Mount Antero, which stands tall at 14,275 feet. I, on the other hand, had fallen short. In retrospect, I now see that I did not respect the mountain. I subconsciously thought that since I had achieved in the past, these experiences would carry me through. They didn't. I didn't have that ever so slight element of fear before this trip to motivate me to be better. I was not prepared. Seniors, don't let your senior year be your Mount Antero. Don't rely on your past achievements, thinking that they alone will carry you through college. This, right now, this is your training run for college and for life. I also encourage you to thank your cheerleaders. Think of those who have inspired you, who have given of themselves, so you can be the best version of yourself. They may include your parents, your teachers, your family, your mentors, and of course, your good friends. Honor their sacrifice and their devotion to you. My challenge to each and every one of you is to keep the end goal in mind. Fear it. just a little bit, so you respect it. And don't rest on the laurels of your past, but instead continue to train for the race. Thank you.
Will the faculty please step forward to the inner brick circle? We now introduce Judith Yount to read the charge to the faculty.
As we embark upon a new school year, I want to congratulate all of you for choosing the greatest profession of all. Almost every achievement that our students make now and in the future will be a result of a teacher helping to plant an idea or thought and providing the tools and techniques of discovery. Students will learn thousands of things, both large and small, from you this year. You will touch many lives that will never be the same. Because of you, many young people will be able to successfully take their next steps into a higher level of learning. The many days and nights you worry about the quality of your lessons and whether you truly will reach every student in your class will pay off in ways that you can never imagine. The relationships that you develop with each of your students are directly related to their success. My charge to you as we begin this new year is to be the teacher who finds passion in everything you do. Be the teacher who laughs with your students, genuinely cares about your students, and makes a difference in their lives every day. Be the teacher your students talk about 15 years from now. Each of us has had a teacher who has made a profound impact upon our lives. My charge to you is to be that teacher. Have a great year.
Thank you for your attendance today and for all that you do for our school. As Judith said, it will be a great year. We're dismissed.